So LEGO minifigures aren't exactly known for their real-life accuracy, with their yellow skin and noseless faces, but with that being said, there are a surprising amount of really cool, historically accurate-ish parts that we can use to make some more realistic-looking medieval knights. So today we'll be taking a look at some different units that I made based on real-life examples. Starting up first with the most common type of armor, we have the Gambeson. Back in 2022, LEGO released a Viking boat set, and it came with this fur-lined Gambeson torso. It's a super simple print, but one that medieval LEGO fans immediately fell in love with. So with this torso, I've made a group of different low-ranking soldiers. This guy has a polearm and a padded coif. This one has a basic spear and a nasal helm, and lastly, this guy has a crossbow, a kettle helm, and a custom-made Pavis shield. These Pavis shields are super easy to make, and they really just make your crossbowmen feel more realistic. This design depicts a cross, but you could totally make it plain if you'd like, or have some other kind of simple design on it. I think these guys look pretty true to life with their simple dark tan Gambesons, but I really wish LEGO would recolor this torso to give us some more variation, because having all of them wear the same exact colored Gambesons is a bit unrealistic. Oh, and the fact that this coif piece is discontinued makes me so sad. We really need to get an updated version of this for modern medieval LEGO sets. But now, before we take a look at some Byzantine soldiers I made, I want to briefly mention the world of medieval customs. Companies like Cult Bricks, K-Town Bricks, and Brick Warriors all make custom printed and molded medieval parts that I think are really worth looking into if you want some more historical accuracy in your figs. K-Town Bricks, for example, has these beautiful multicolored Gambesons that honestly look better than the ones I use today. The print quality isn't quite as good as LEGO's, but picking up a few of these in some different colors would definitely flesh out your armies. They are very expensive, but that's just the price you pay for customs. Now let's take a look at some of the Byzantine soldiers I made. In that same Viking set from 2022 came this black lamelier torso. It's probably the most popular one from that set if I had to guess, and you could actually still buy it today on Pick-a-Brick. Now, when I think of Byzantine soldiers, my mind always goes straight to lamelier armor for some reason, so for these guys I've given them that torso with a couple different pairs of legs. These two guys have legs that are also lamelier, but they come from a Japanese samurai minifigure from a really long time ago. The pattern doesn't match the torso exactly, but I think it's a decent looking combination. For their weapons, they've also got a short sword and a custom halberd. Unfortunately for these guys, there just aren't any helmets that really work for the Byzantines, but you could try using this Roman one, or maybe even this Viking helmet with the horns removed. Neither of them really work in my opinion, so I've just given them some hair pieces. But there's probably some custom molded ones out there by a company that I'm just not aware of that you could definitely look into. The other two guys I've made for them have a different pair of legs that look Byzantine-ish to me at least, but I still prefer the other legs I used. I think the dark red accents on these four really help sell the Byzantine look, but they could definitely use some purple as well. I just don't have any appropriate parts to add here. Now moving on, ever since the new Dragonborn minifigure came out, I and many others thought that they would work great as custom Crusaders. So what I've done is taken the CMF, flipped the torso around, and added a great helm. The back print on this torso here works so well for custom Crusaders, and I think a lot of people are going to be using this for their Crusade mocks. Obviously, the Great Helm works super well with this figure as well, and all the details on it are just so highly detailed and beautiful. If you don't have any of these figs yet, I would really recommend you try to get them while they're on shelves, because these are going to go for so much on the aftermarket when they retire in a few months. Anyways, next let's take a look at this knight with chainmail. I've made this guy with a beautiful chainmail torso from I think 2019, and I've also given him a padded coif to go under his helmet. One of my absolute favorite minifigure heads ever made is this chainmail coif from the early 2000s. It came in a bunch of the Viking sets from the time, and it just looks fantastic. I'd love for LEGO to make some new printed coif heads because it just adds so much to your knights. It's crazy that in the entire history of LEGO Castle, they only did this one time. That was the inspiration behind this fig, because I think having some of your knights wear chainmail or padded coifs just adds so much to making your armies feel more realistic. Especially if they're just chilling out in a castle, it makes sense for them not to be wearing their helmet at all times. Anyways, I think this is a decent alternative to that, and I've put a black head on the inside of the helmet so that the knight can carry it around with him. Next up, we've got my take on a late medieval era knight. He's got a fully covered helmet with a white feathered plume and a body and leg combo that just looks so good. It's unlike any other official LEGO knight, and it has some super realistic looking details on it. The parts actually come from Harry Potter of all places, and this is one of my favorite figures from that theme. I've also given him another one of those custom halberds from earlier. In my opinion, this is the most realistic looking knight that you can make with only official pieces. And the best part is, the official figure goes for less than $5 on Bricklink. Seriously, if you're wanting some historical looking knights but are afraid of the third-party options out there, I think this is the figure for you. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. I had a lot of fun making these guys, as it's not something I normally do, but it's definitely given me that itch to make some more historically accurate knights, and mocks for that matter. And as always, thank you so much for watching.